The lottery has always been a quick route to cool cash for the lucky. While it's been a total life changer for some, it's a path to a minute luxury life for others. The stories of lottery winners going broke are true, as some of them blow through their winnings and others face the consequences of some dumb decisions. Can you imagine an illegal immigrant blowing his cover by suing his boss for his winnings? And a poor orphan spending his $1 million on an airplane he couldn't and didn't fly? How insane can these decisions get? Number 1. Christina Goodenow. Christina Goodenow is one of the people who randomly grabbed a lottery ticket. She was out buying a few items when she decided to pick up a ticket for the Oregon Lottery $1 million jackpot. Luckily, it was the winning ticket, earning Christina $1 million. She chose annuity payments in receiving her winnings, making $33,500 her first reward. However, things were not juicy for long. Her ticket purchase for the lottery was investigated along with many other items. Things fell apart when they realized Christina Goodenow had been exploiting her mother-in-law's credit card, who died the year before. Since this isn't in line with the regulations, she lost her winnings and faced charges, including forgery, theft, and fraud. Number 2. Denise Rossi. Happily married to Thomas was Denise Rossi, who was a habitual California Super Lotto player. Out of the blue, she filed for divorce from her husband in 1996 without giving a reasonable explanation. While confused and hurt, Thomas decided to give in to the divorce and move on with his life. 2 years later, he received a letter supposedly meant for his ex-wife. The mail bore details of Denise's $1.3 million win, which she got less than 2 weeks before filing for a divorce. Annoyed, Thomas went to court immediately and tendered a case against Denise. Although she claimed to be unaware of any rule stating her having to disclose the winnings, she was found guilty. She was punished for violating state asset disclosure laws and had to give up every penny of her winnings to Thomas, her ex-husband. Number 3. Justin Reiter. Most people sit in front of TVs or binge-watch Netflix to either escape reality or just to enjoy their soap operas. However, some fantasize about the scenes and wish it could be their reality. In Alberta, Canada is Justin Reiter, a crazy fan of Goldmember, the Austin Powers movie. He'd always wanted to emulate coating his nether regions in gold in his own life, but had never had the money to do so. However, Justin managed to win a $600,000 lottery, which he sadly wasted on lead-based paint and a paintbrush to bring his fantasy of shiny body parts into reality. That didn't feel enough, so he decided to purchase gold-infused paint and coat it over the original, which was lead-based. This led to Justin's tragic death, with the cause being lead poisoning from the initial paint he attempted to coat his family jewels with. Number 4. Amanda Clayton. Down and out of luck was Amanda Clayton, who'd been living on food stamps and state welfare since 2010. However, her luck menu was upgraded when she played the Michigan Lottery's Make Me Rich game. She won $1 million, and one would have easily expected that to be her silver lining. Rather than this being a life changer and refurbishing her financial situation for years, it became her downfall due to her greed. In July 2020, a local news outlet stumbled upon a thing that pointed out the fact that Amanda continued to receive food stamps and state benefits despite being a millionaire. This buried her in deep water, and she had to make several appearances in court. Eventually, judgment was passed, and she was given a fine and 9 months of probation. Unfortunately, she died from a drug overdose a year later, aged just 25. Number 5. Michael Carroll. Michael Carroll should have been a name one would find on motivational quotes or videos. Someone with a backstory as his would have easily been a ray of light to most. When he was young, he was diagnosed with various learning disabilities and had things get worse when his father had to spend time in prison. His father ultimately died, and he subsequently faced abuse from his stepfathers. While enduring all of that, he hoped for an escape, and this eventually came to pass after winning the £9.7 million UK Lotto. One would expect his life to completely change, and that it did. 19-year-old Michael decided to live the high life and spend his fortune on sports cars, fancy houses, and other expensive unnecessaries. Most of his millions were spent on prostitutes, alcohol, and drugs. A few years later, He had no family, no friends, and not a single penny of his winnings left. Number 6. John Ross Jr. Your average living human was John Ross Jr., who lived a quiet life in Linda, California. He was literally stuck there, sitting on his couch and with no plans of going anywhere, since he had no job nor a driver's license. He did have one thing though: luck. He won California Lottery's Set for Life lottery, earning him the whopping sum of $2 million. He would get payments in increments of $70,000 for 2 decades, allowing him to fulfill his lifelong dream of owning a car. He told the public that he would use his winnings to turn his life around, and also dedicate some to helping people around him. Well, that didn't happen. He was caught trying to steal a car a few months after, and ended up using his fortune to bail himself out of prison. This took him back to where it all began: his couch. Number 7. Abraham Shakespeare. Nope, he wasn't a cousin of Williams or a descendant of any sort. He was a truck driver's assistant who opted for the lottery in 2006. He won a staggering sum of $30 million and immediately purchased a $1 million house, a Nissan Altima, and a Rolex. Well, purchasing pricey things might not be the best fiscal step, but it's expected after coming into such an amount in a short period of time. What really got it twisted was getting into business with Dee Dee Moore. Abraham wanted his life story written, as he believed that he'd probably led an interesting one. He started a company with Dee Dee and spent his fortune on it. The book never saw the light of day, and Dee Dee literally used the company as a way to swindle Abraham. She used his money to purchase expensive items, cars, and even Abraham's home. Abraham suddenly went missing in 2009, and his corpse was found in the backyard of one of Dee Dee Moore's houses. She was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. A tragic end for this Shakespeare, we would say. Number 8. Americo Lopez. Americo Lopez belonged to a lottery pool formed by his co-workers. The group of 6 pooled some cash to buy some Mega Millions tickets in 2009, and luckily they won a $38.4 million prize. But Americo decided to act as though sharing your winnings among others in a pool wasn't clearly apparent to him. He kept the prize a secret and quit his job. He was hardly seen for a couple of months, but screwed himself by informing one of his ex-co-workers about himself winning, claiming it happened after leaving the lottery pool and quitting his job. Suspicious, of course, the co-worker investigated and checked the results. He nullified his lies and realized that he won while he was still a pool member. Americo had to face the law and was ordered to turn in the winnings to the other members. Number 9. Jose Antonio Cuauhtoc. Jose Antonio Cuauhtoc illegally entered the United States in the year 2000. He was a Guatemalan native trying to make ends meet, and also a lover of the lottery. In 2010, he played the Georgia Jingle Jumbo Bucks lottery and managed to win $750,000. Since he couldn't claim the winnings as an illegal immigrant, he asked his boss, Eric Cervantes, to claim the ticket for him. Unsurprisingly, Cervantes decided to pull a fast one on Jose. He refused to hand over the money, which was the wrong act on his part. However, Jose was mad and reportedly threatened to kill Eric before deciding to sue him, despite being an undocumented citizen. His cover was blown, and he was arrested for his illegal status. He was also imprisoned for forgery and threats against Eric, and his deportation was arranged. Number 10. William Bud Post. William Bud Post was one of those who made dumb decisions after winning the lottery. He did have a sad backstory of losing his mother at a young age and being abandoned by his father shortly after. With less than $3 in his account and nowhere to go, he decided to purchase a ticket for the Pennsylvania lottery draw in 1998. He won $16.2 million, and life suddenly became much rosier. He wasn't able to enjoy it before his girlfriend filed a case against him requesting 1/3 of his prize, which she won. Interestingly, even his brother paid a hitman to end his life. That didn't go as planned, and charges were filed. When all was done and dusted, William decided that it was time to flaunt his winnings. He wasted it on frivolities and even purchased an airplane, which he didn't and couldn't fly. He was later met with a $1 million debt and met his end a few years later.